Nationalism and the media. This is the Earth. Know what's happening in the other countries? Well, the People's Republic of China, Brunei, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Vietnam are having territorial disputes in the South China Sea. This is the map of the mentioned countries. There are disputes concerning both Spratly and Paracel Islands. The interest of different nations includes acquiring fishing areas around the two archipelagos and the exploitation of crude oil and natural gas under the water.
How does it relate to nationalism?
This article relates to pursuing national interest and geographic nation. Pursuing national interest because both different nations want to claim the same interest, like fishing areas, the exploitation of crude oil, and the natural gas under the waters of various parts of South China Sea, and also the sovereignty over the islands.
Geographic nation because the conflict and interest of different nations is about the two islands and the sovereignty over ocean areas. What's the next article?
Let's see.
With the ongoing dispute in the South China Sea, United States says it would welcome help from Japanese surveillance.
The fact that Japan and China have faced up on several occasions with Senkaku and Diaoyu Islands.
Japan has had some experience using its military to patrol controversial waters. According to Admiral Robert Thomas, JSDF operations in South China Sea make sense in the future. China began to develop a man-made island near the Spratly Islands, which appears to be a construction of an airplane landing strip, according to a report.
Design of the Chinese land base.
The Chinese military airbase in South China Sea would extremely improve Chinese surveillance and support claims over the disputed area. However, Japan has never expressed any intention to join in patrolling the South China Sea.
We don't care, says Japan.
How does it relate to nationalism? This relates to nationalism, meaning a desire by a large group of people to form a separate independent nation of their own, a sense of national consciousness exacting one nation above all others and placing primary emphasis on promotion of its culture and interests in a sense that firstly, China has been so proud of their country and has been standing aggressively, claiming over the South China Sea waters. Secondly, U.S. welcoming help from Japan because of its experience in using its military to patrol controversial waters. What's the third article?
Vietnam and Philippines. Vietnam and the Philippines were involved in a series of potentially violent confrontation over disputed territory.
Chinese fishermen arrested by Philippine authorities in a separate dispute. A Chinese fishing boat and its 11 crew members were arrested by Philippine authorities near the Spratly Islands. Philippine officials say the boat was carrying a large number of endangered species and they seized the boat to uphold Philippine sovereign rights and the disputed waters. But the situation with Vietnam is more serious than the situation with the Philippines. China has started drilling for oil in a part of the South China Sea also claimed by Vietnam. Chinese military and civilian ships have been frightening the Vietnamese vessels near the Paracel Islands, which are controlled by Beijing but claimed by Hanoi, Vietnam. When Vietnam vessels approached the 981 oil rig to stop the illegal intrusion, Chinese protective vessels, under Chinese airplane cover, were acting provocatively and purposely and directly ran into Vietnamese vessels.
They used high-power water cannon to damage Vietnamese ships and injured Vietnamese fishery patrol crew. Sources: